Open STM32 Cube IDE. When it starts, this window will appear. Now go to File, New, and select STM32 Project. Then, wait a moment. A target selection window like this will appear. If you type STM32F767VIT6 here, you select the one at the very top. Then click Next. I'll create the project in this location on my computer. I'll name the project LED on-off, leave the options below as they are, and create it. A window like this will appear. This is the Hall driver approach. You click through the settings and configure the registers in this window. We won't use that approach. In this lab, we'll write the code by accessing the registers directly. Close this by clicking the X. Then, in the core folder, SRC stands for source code. Open main.c in core source. There's already lots of code. Press Ctrl A and delete everything. When you first open it, the font may be smaller. I've already made mine larger. To increase it, go to Window, Preferences, General, Appearance, and Colors and Fonts. Under C/C++, double-click the editor item, and this dialog will appear. Increase the font size here. I'll set mine fairly large to about 20. You can use a smaller size if you want. Now we'll write the code here. For this first session, we'll start by simply following the steps from beginning to end. First, enter the code shown here. This uses the CMSIS device header. I'll explain it later. Once you've added it, let's write the main function. Write the main function like this. We'll use pin 3 of port D. Before using any peripheral, the first thing we need to do is set up its clock. So let's configure the clock. We configure the clock through RCC. This code accesses the RCC AHB1 enable register. If this isn't clear, I'll explain it later. For now, copy it exactly. We need to set bit 3 to 1. We'll write the code this way. The value 0x8 is a 32-bit hexadecimal constant. The final digit 8 is binary 1000, and every other bit is 0, so only bit 3 is set. By setting the RCC AHB1 enable register this way, we've enabled the peripheral clock for GPIO-D. This is the OR operator. The register itself is 32 bits wide. When we OR it with this hexadecimal mask, the existing bits stay unchanged, and only the bit selected by the mask is set. We won't cover C in depth, so I recommend reviewing bitwise operations on your own. In short, we use the OR operation to set only the bit we wanted. Next, to set pin 3 of port D as an output, we'll configure GPIO-D mode register. Using the OR operation this way sets the 2-bit field for pin 3 in the GPIO-D mode register to 01. That selects general purpose output mode. Next, we'll configure the GPIO output speed. Set PD3 to medium speed. This is the GPIO-D output speed register. Setting it this way makes the pin 3 field 01, which selects medium speed. An embedded program always runs in an infinite loop inside while 1. When the system starts, it enters main and first runs this register setup. Once the register setup is complete, the code runs continuously inside while 1. To turn the LED on, we can set the output through the GPIO-D output data register. This statement clears the port D pin 3 bit in the GPIO-D output data register, setting the output to 0. The output is 0, so the LED turns on. Next, copy and paste this. To turn the LED off, write it this way. This sets the output to 1 or 3.3 volts and turns the LED off. But in while 1, these two statements turn the LED on and right back off in a single iteration. That makes the change too fast to see, so we'll create a variable that we can change in real time to turn the LED on and off. First, let's create that global variable. uint8t is an unsigned integer type. With this 8-bit typedef, we declare the variable test. Using test, if its value is 0, we'll turn the LED off. I'll move this aside. When test is not 0, we'll turn the LED on. The code is complete. I'll make the font slightly smaller. This size should make it easier to see. With this setup, we can use the test variable to turn the LED on and off. Now let's connect to the MCU. With ST-Link connected, press Ctrl B to check that the code builds correctly. The project builds and the result appears in the console below. We can confirm there are 0 errors and 0 warnings. Next, click the bug-shaped debug icon to open this window. Click OK here. After a moment, this window will appear. Click Switch. This brings us to the debug perspective. I'll move this slightly to the side. On the right are several views. In live expressions, we can add the global variable to monitor and change its value. Let's add the test variable here. The program isn't running yet, so we need to click Resume. Once we click it, the program keeps running. Since test is currently 0, execution enters this branch. The LED is currently off. Now set test to 1 and press enter. Execution moves to the else block below and you can see the LED turn on. Next, let me introduce another useful feature. If you double-click this area in the margin, a dot appears. This is a breakpoint. The program is still running in while 1. When execution reaches this location on line 17, it stops, which makes step-by-step debugging easier. Set test to 0 to enter this branch and hit the breakpoint. Now we stop here, try step into and step over from the toolbar to see how they work. First, click step into. It lets you follow the program one line at a time and see which line is executing. The difference with step over isn't visible in this example. It moves through the code in larger steps and I'll demonstrate it again later. Double-click the breakpoint again to remove it. Then click Resume again and the program will continue running. Another useful view in this window is SFRs. Open it to see the registers, expand GPIO-D, and you'll find the GPIO registers we used earlier. When error reading value appears, pause, then resume the program. The values will appear. Here we can see the GPIO-D mode register bit settings. In our code, we configured GPIO-D mode register like this. Here we can verify that the field we set is configured correctly. In the SFRs view, we can confirm that it is correctly set to 0, 1. Open the GPIO-D output speed register and inspect this field. It is also set to 0, 1, confirming the medium speed setting we wanted. The value is also displayed below as 32 bits. These views make debugging easier. The header we're using, STM32F767XX.H, is a CMSIS device header. It declares items such as the RCC AHB1 enable register and the GPIO registers, making the ARM-based MCU easier to work with. In the code editor, hold Ctrl and click Mode Register. Choose Yes, then Apply and Close to open the STM32F767 header. If we split the editor into 2 panes, we can see that this header contains the declarations for the registers used in our code. In the Project Explorer, go to Drivers, CMSIS, Device, STM32F7XX, Include. The STM32F767 header is there. ST provides it when we create the project. This lets us access the registers more easily. Next time, we'll take a closer look at the structures shown on the right and practice accessing the registers.